All right, welcome back everyone to the Chronicles of Romeo Oakhart. This is part 2 of chapter 6, the Falcon and the Snake. Last week, our heroes finally made it to their hometown of Oakhart. When they got there, they were able to see their adoptive father. At that point, their adoptive father gave them ownership of the orphanage that they grew up in. And then they were contacted or hired by request by the prince to figure out what's going on with the missing children that seem to have cropped up during this time. So that's where we started off. That's where we ended off last night, or last time we played, when our heroes were searching the city, interrogating people, investigating crime scenes to figure out where the children were, who took them, and if there's any chance of saving them. So that's where we're going to jump right back in. The last thing that happened was Sylvia and I believe Quaylith bought a vial off a woman on the street, and when they used that vial to pick up whatever substance it was in the house, that vial exploded in their face, and people had glass in their face, and it was less than desirable, to say the least.
Yeah.
But we are back in that room with the second group, and we'll move on from there. So those of you in that group, what's going on, and what are you guys doing with your time now since the incident happened with that vial? Because the original goal was to collect it. So what are you doing now?
After it exploded, we had gone outside and looked at what it looked like from the outside, and I think we were just gonna call the other group and see what they found.
Well,
I don't think we talked about what else we were going to do at the house.
we were trying to. What was it exactly we were trying to slide into the vial again? Remind me. Was it
The goo from the wood, like the sap from the wood?
Well, okay.
That strange vine.
Yeah, the poison.
Yeah.
It was like that poison sap stuff.
Right.
Well,
For funsies.
Cynthia could reach into like the back compartment of her wheelchair, pull out her water skin, and just kind of start dumping it on the ground. She's like, "Well, failing a vial, we have a container here. I'll just have to buy a not sappy one later." It's worth a shot.
If you want to try that.
We don't really have any other option. I mean, what else are we gonna do? All right. She's going to attempt to scrape some of the sap into her water skin with water skin in one hand, and she's going to use her dagger to try to goop it in.
Okay. Okay. So yes, you're able to do that without any problem. It goes in. I guess, like you just said, it's more or less ruined, but it doesn't blow up.
Well, that's good.
I wonder if it was just because of the glass, or perhaps that woman was some sort of con artist.
Through the pouch.
This guy closes and just jostles it, gives it a listen. I mean, it's poisonous. I don't think it's acidic.
It did explode last time.
Well, that was in the vial. Anyone have any of the glass trinkets we can go try to blow up in this thing? I'm really fascinated all of a sudden.
Am I remembering correctly that it didn't just explode, the glass turned to salt and that exploded?
Yes.
You would be remembering.
Okay. Yeah, it transmuted to salt and then embedded itself in my face, mostly my face. A little bit of Sylvia's face. It's definitely mostly my face.
I just picture after the explosion, there's shards, Sylvia just kind of picks one like out of her like pulls like out of her cheek, but she like, gets like a whiff of salt, like smells it, just gives it like a little like lick, like oh. Try to see if I have anything I can use on this thing that's glass in my person that would blow up. No. We'll have to experiment on the glass or the explosive properties on this later. Was the vial a freak accident? Was it? Oh, I have so many questions.
So, I mean, you can give me Arcana check.
That's true. 24.
With 24, yes, there was a magical trap of the dark variety placed on this vial.
Wait, placed on the vial?
Yes. Yes. Well, it definitely seems like there was some sort of trap on that vial. Now, Sylvia bought this from some lady on the street.
No,
Spray
bought it.
Oh, Spray bought it. Spray, who did you say you bought this from again?
There was a lady on the street. I went up there. She was selling glassware, and she was closing up shop. And I went up, and I got a vial from her at a very reasonable price. And I ran off.
Did she say anything nefarious, like, I'll see you soon, like when she sold it to you, or?
No, she was quite nice, actually. I guess I should have taken that as a warning sign.
Yes.
You think we'll go and find her?
We could find her. Do you remember what she looked like? Any general descriptions?
I didn't really get one. But
Oh, Spray.
Do you think Spray would have?
Oh, Spray, honey. This is a mystery. We have a person of interest now. If anything, she's just a shady glassware seller.
Okay, so you figure out that...
Whoa. I'm not there. Never mind.
But yeah, I guess if we're done, Sylvia can just be like, well, maybe we should try to find this lady again, but we should probably let the others know our success. And she'll pull out the... At least, I think... Maybe she doesn't have... Somebody else has the...
I think I had it. I think me and Calder have them.
Excellent. Well, Quaylith, I guess give the others a ring and let them know where we're at.
Quaylith calling Calder. Quaylith calling Calder. Come in, Calder.
Hello.
How are you?
We're doing all right.
This is a very strange thing. And anyway, we found some stuff here at the scene of the crime. Found some poison. Found an exploding vial that was cursed. We have some leads we've still got to follow up on. Have you guys found anything yet?
Be best to let Respa describe what happened over with us. So I'll pass the little talking device over to Respa.
Great. Yes, so, we made contact with the Asps, and we have worked out sort of kind of a deal where they're going to be sharing some contacts. We're going to be, potentially sharing, credit, maybe, if we solve this, but, you know, we'll deal with that later. For the most part now, we do have some leads we're going to start looking into. That's about all that we got.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so where are you guys heading after this?
Meet back at the tavern?
Yeah, I thought we said to meet back up at the tavern.
Okay. And which tavern were you guys going back to?
Slippery nipple.
The energetic lantern.
Mm-hmm.
Had to plumb the depths of my brain for that.
All right, so you guys meet back up at the energetic lantern.
Sick branding.
Jesus. All right. So I mean, are you guys just eating, or are you just kind of meeting here to talk?
In here to talk, I think.
Yeah, I got to plan our next move.
Okay. All right. So you guys find a table that's big enough for all of you. They move a chair out the way for Sylvia. And,
Thank you.
And they each give you a glass of water if you're not ordering anything.
Sylvia's going to look at the water glass, and she's going to look at the the water skin. She's like, it would be really interesting if this actually naturally blew up glass, but just kind of tucks it back down on her side. So, brothers, we had some success, some setbacks. We found this, and she's going to kind of put the water skin pouch on the table. It's filled with some sort of sap-like poison. We found on a plant growing inside the house that probably should not have been there, definitely by magical means. Spray had gotten a vial for us to put it in, but it exploded because it was trapped. Not the sap, the vial.
Really?
So we either have this suspiciously nice woman, so she's either involved, or she's a very mean con artist selling glassware.
That doesn't sound like a con.
I mean, you buy glass, like, oh, I'm thirsty, and then you break it, you break it, you buy it, but,
So Spray, you bought the vial from her. Get a name?
No, it was very quick. She was closing up shop, so it was a fairly quick exchange.
Name of the shop?
None, it was a cart on a street.
Okay. Really?
Remember where on the street?
It was just a little bit down the way from the crime scene we were checking out.
Ugh.
Okay.
One second. Let me just. I'm gonna roll something here.
I will say it would be very big coincidence for somebody to know that we were there. We were very sneaky. We know nobody saw us go in. We're very sneaky. We went in. And then that we would want to go buy a glass vial to put some poison in so I could later stick my rapier in it and stab people. Like, that's the only reason we went and got the vial. I
mean, we could definitely do the stabbing with the poison. I thought I was going to try to...
We also don't know if anyone was listening in to when we decided we were going places when we were talking to the prince.
But an entire cart of glassware. That's pretty elaborate.
I mean, that gets out into the city. That's a powder keg of salty glass explosions.
I don't think people who are selling salty glass explosions to people care about blood.
I did a self roll for insight. Yeah, and I got a 23. I think it's like entirely too suspicious. Like how late at night did Joe? How late at night did they find this woman just closing up shop?
Actually, yeah, it was about midnight.
Yeah. Since we've lived in this area all our lives, what time do regular shops tend to close up?
Regular shops tend to close around 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Bars obviously stay up open pretty much all night into the morning, into breakfast time. But other than bars, most things close around 8 or 9.
Spray, could you make a history check if you had a description of her when you saw her?
I was going to say, yeah, I would love to know, Joe, if you think Spray would remember this person at all. But I guess we can let the dice decide.
Sure. Give me a history check.
Oh goodness.
I'll roll the dice with you.
Oh goodness. Right.
And here we thought it was better that we were buying one instead of stealing one.
Hey. we should have broken in somewhere.
Broke it in somewhere and stole one.
Okay. I mean, you could describe her.
And what would be that description, Joe?
About 5'6", blonde hair, pointed ears, so she was either half elf or elven. Green eyes.
Okay. I'm gonna. All right, Joe, you can feel free to shoot this idea down now, because I'm gonna be lobbying for something. Like, it's basically like a hindsight history check for all of us. When we've been walking around town all this time and seeing a variety of people, have we seen any other cart salespeople that looked like they could have been associated with this person of interest?
You can roll for it, but the DC is going to be relatively high.
Okay. History?
We need history.
So I look at... Bjarka's just going to, like, look at Sylvia and just say, you're the person that would remember all of this.
Indeed.
That
Wait,
4 is fitting for
saw
hell.
your roll.
Let's just have a freaking Jimmy Neutron brain blast right now.
I just got to point out my roll right before it.
Thank you for taking that bullet for me, Respa.
Okay.
Yeah, all the rest of us are just like, a city, ooh.
All right,
Wait,
so Sylvia,
is it nat 20 with a 2026?
all right, so Sylvia, you recall a woman of that description being on the docks when you disembarked the bullet.
There's a woman that definitely was like that. She was at the docks. Did she have a cart then, Joe? I mean, I didn't see the woman. I wouldn't say the same, but that matches the description. I would have to see for myself.
She didn't have a cart. But you do. It does sound familiar.
What was she like doing? Was she like doing anything, or was she just hanging out? Was she working somewhere?
Oh,
actually, now that you mention it, with your natural 20, she was talking to children.
Holy shit! I'm gonna blow this case wide open. She was talking to kids at the dock.
that bitch. People, adults talking to children. Suspicious.
She's going to sell them glass breaks.
On its face, not very suspicious, but the same woman selling us exploding glass.
Near the
very
crime
suspicious.
scene.
Near the crime scene.
I mean, you take me for example. The last child I spoke to, I punched in the face.
That is true. That is very true.
So, Sylvia.
Yes.
When we were coming into port, and we were getting off the docks, do you remember everything else around the docks looking normal?
Do I? I don't think. I mean,
with that natural 20, she seemed normal. She wasn't like over the kids, like, she wasn't doing that. Like, she was
no,
like.
I meant like, was the weather fine? Was there like anything like just something that we would like possibly not notice that could be there?
No, I mean,
No
talking to
sign
Sylvia,
that says
no.
children this way?
No, nothing like that. And when she was talking to the children, it wasn't creepy. You saw her talk to them and the children walked past. It wasn't like she talked to them and grabbed them by the by the scruff and took them into an alleyway. Like,
How
it was
I imagine
completely
it,
normal.
we walk past this woman. She's like there strangling a child, and we just like glaze over it. Don't notice a thing.
Full on Homer and Bart just.
Yeah, just.
Listen, my insight's real low. I just don't notice that that's weird.
Well,
Brothers, I have an idea. So, okay. I've read a few crime novellas in my time. If she was lurking near the crime scene, she's watching over the scene of the crime. It's also possible that she might strike at these multiple locations if she's talking to these children. So, we could always set a trap. She's magical, so this might not be 100%. Maybe she has some sort of true sight token or something on her, where she'll pick it up a better detector. Well, I'm thinking, I could cast disguise self tomorrow, and try to be bait. Just a little girl in a wheelchair, kind of rolling around.
You and Spray both. Perfect.
Wait.
Well, no, but she already knows Spray, because she tried to blow him up.
That's right, yes. No, Spray, no.
No Spray on this.
Yeah,
that was my first thought.
I would never pass as a kid anyway,
You're literally shorter than you used to be.
Shut up!
Well, I think you should give your talisman to Sylvia then, just in case she'll need everything that she has.
You'll need to look.
I think...
Yeah. I mean, if any of you... Spray, are you good with the disguise kit?
Pulls out a mustache.
Mustache.
Not particularly.
Okay.
I normally get out of problems by running. I can use one, but...
I get out of problems by running!
That tracks.
Oh, that's fine. It's
I feel like that should be the bond for your character at this point.
Well,
I won't be able to keep, much on me, but I guess the only real weapon I need is, she kind of twirls her arcane firearm and clicks it back into the holster.
that cannot be safe.
The sending stones would be really helpful. You'll need to keep that on you for sure, so you can talk to us. I can trail. I've got telepathy. I could try to shadow you. I can hide anywhere in the city.
That is true. Let's see. Is there any other thing?
There's only one thing left that we need to make a D&D plan perfect. Joe, I need a cart.
You need a what? You need a cart?
A cart. I need a cart. No city D&D mission can be complete without a cart. And I have a horse, so this is perfect.
Okay. And would you like to purchase a cart?
I would, tomorrow, because they are most assuredly closed right now.
Okay. All right, so where are you guys sleeping? You sleeping in the bar or you sleeping in the orphanage?
Wherever Respa got us our rooms. Wait, maybe we should be at the orphanage where kids are. The beds are so small.
It'd be very bad if kids disappeared on our watch now.
Yeah.
True.
Let's just take watch at the orphanage.
Oh, we did pay for the beds. Could we take the beds from the inn to the orphanage?
They will not let us do that.
I've not stayed at a lot of inns. I'm
the
sorry.
barkeep is a 10-foot tall minotaur, so you're going to say no.
Okay. Where's the idea? Okay,
But all the beds that they
floor.
bought fit them. They're great.
Just taking the mattresses from 2 or 3 beds, lay them together.
All of these Shaquille O'Neal-sized beds.
Give me an intelligence check, Bjarka.
All right.
Take a hat out of the Call of Cthulhu for something.
Oh. My plus 0, 18, baby.
All right, so with the 18, you could always hire someone to watch the orphanage if you don't want to sleep there.
Well, With that check, do you think that I could flex some of my military background to get people to watch it? People that are below my rank specifically? That
Well,
We are also actively affiliated with royalty, specifically on a case with disappearing children. And there's an orphanage full of children.
Yeah, that's not common knowledge.
yeah, that isn't common knowledge.
yeah, the whole point of
And
him,
They don't want that being common knowledge.
Oh, so we care about a badge like by the authority of the.
We have the names of the soldiers or the city guards that kids got taken. Can we go recruit them to watch the orphanage? And tell them that we are actively on the case for finding and we have some leads?
So I would say they probably won't be appreciating being woken up at 1 in the morning.
Like the Jarl in Skyrim.
I did roll an 18 on that intelligence check. Let's just go watch the kids. It's smarter this way. Fuck it.
Okay, so you guys make your way back to the orphanage. At this time of night, it's dead quiet. There are a couple of guards that guard the ground because orphans are very easy to disappear, and your father Ariel was aware of that. So there are some guards that patrol the area.
On our way back, I rolled a 21 perception check. Do I hear any child thieving cackles on the wing?
No child thieving cackles on your way home.
He's going.
Fair enough.
All the way back, so he's like, brothers, do any of you have a ring I can just borrow for
That needs to be clipped, apparently.
Oh my God, Cartman stole the other kids.
No, kiddies, that's my pie.
Alright, so you guys just, sleep where you can find some room. There are some rooms for instructors, and they have normal-sized beds. But they're pretty much like straw, a burlap sack, and some wood to keep it off the ground so it's not cold. That's pretty much it at this point.
Yarka talks to Quaylith and Calder before going to sleep. Do you guys want to do a rotating shift for just keeping watch?
Sure.
All right.
Just meditate anyway.
All right, I'll take first watch because you guys sleep weird.
And sister, you said you needed a ring, perhaps?
If you have one, I'm gonna cook something up tonight to help me on my journeys tomorrow. I'm torn either between using a ring or doing something to my armor.
I have these dice.
Pop out one of his earrings, and it could fit around a human figure, and say, "Will this work?" You can put around a finger.
Sylvia's gonna look at it. Joe, would this earring count as a ring for the purpose of turning this into a spell refueling ring?
No. It is an earring.
Okay, just making sure. I'm just double checking before I shoot next. It's like, brother, this is very thoughtful, but it needs to be one around a finger. I'll just do something to my armor tonight. I'll make it the armor of stranger danger.
And keep this with you. And Spray will hand his sister his talisman.
Well, thank you. She's gonna put it on. Before she goes to bed, she's gonna begin work. She's gonna begin work with her tinkering tools. You see her just kind of like lay her scale mail down, and she's just gonna be like making like little slight modifications to it, and she'll finish up in the morning.
Okay. All right. Anyone else doing anything before they go to sleep?
Do you want any checks for the watch?
No.
I'm gonna cast Mage Armor before I go to bed.
That's not how Mage Armor works.
8-hour duration.
Yeah.
Non-concentration. Skin is just stone, laying asleep.
You know what?
He's been shanked in his sleep before.
Now something does happen during
legitimately.
watch.
Okay.
There were some rough nights on the streets.
Respa, as you are sleeping, since you wanted to, raise your hand, as you are sleeping, you have a dream, and it's almost like you're floating through the halls of the orphanage, through all the bunk rooms where the children sleep, and eventually you make it to the room of your father, and you literally float above him, and you see two ethereal hands just begin to choke him. And as much as you want to fight it, you can't stop because it literally looks like you're doing it. And he's choking, and at that moment when it looks like he's just on the edge of death, you wake up to the sun in your eyes.
I immediately dash to her father's room, and I'm banging on the doors of my brothers as I go. I'm also just going to be shooting off messages because I have that cantrip, so I'm just going to literally ping everyone saying, Dad's room now. That's just the only message that they get.
I'm totally not there because I left earlier in the morning because my military schedule, I'm still getting over that, to go get a cart.
Okay.
But
we'll adjust the cart.
Back. Ah!
Okay, so Respa, as you are barreling through the halls of the orphanage, and you make it to your father's room, as you slam open the door, you actually hit one of the orderlies. Now, and you realize that the room is filled with medicas who are looking after your father, and they're saying that his sickness has taken a turn for the worse. They don't know why, but it looks like the life was strangled out of him.
Is he currently breathing? Just like not well, or?
He's breathing, but his vitals are very weak.
Okay. And just remind me with the plague that he has, it's the ingestion of the dust particles. So I could theoretically touch him and not instantly contract said disease.
It's recommended that you touch him with gloves.
Okay.
Took off all my clothes, and then I put on gloves.
So I'm gonna attempt to is there a spare pair of gloves nearby?
One of the orderlies will give you some, or excuse me, one of the medicas will give you one.
Perfect. So I'll just immediately slip them on and kneel down at his side, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just, because seeing what had happened in the dream, thinking this is some kind of magical vibe that I hitched a ride on, I'm just gonna attempt to cure wounds at level 3.
Okay.
Just to try to negate some of what I think may have happened last night.
Okay, so go ahead and roll it. Because I need a number behind what you're doing.
Oof, 9.
So it does look like he has a little bit more blood in his cheeks after you do that.
I'll turn to the nearest medic and just be like, is there anyone who has gift with magic that can monitor this room at all?
Well, yes, we're medicas. That's why we're here.
Okay. Can any of you sense magic that's currently active?
No. That's one of the first things we check for.
Okay. Because I think someone actively attacked Father last night with some kind of magic.
And how do you know that?
I had the dream.
And what happened in your dream?
I saw him being strangled.
I need more detail than that. Please don't leave anything out.
I saw hands gripping around his throat and trying to just scrunch the life out of him.
Whose hands? Your hands?
The hands of whatever perspective I was on, yes. Because in the dreamscape, did it feel like it was me, or just that I was perceiving it through
It
a
felt
form?
like it was you, and you just
It
couldn't
did.
stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I leave that part out.
Okay. What color were the hands?
I'll be honest, I couldn't tell. I was so focused on father.
Did they have a color?
They were obviously, so they were actively my hands that I could see?
Yes, but they were more or less transparent.
Transparent. Okay. They were very ethereal. Like, there was no color that I could perceive. It was almost like looking through glass.
Oh, shit. He rolled a natural 20. That sounds like your father was attacked by a night hag.
Oh, finally you said it. Oh man, I've been sitting on that for like the past half hour. Holy shit.
I was thinking about it since he accidentally broadcast it.
So I'll reach my hand back towards all of my siblings, and I'll message to each of them, where the fuck are you? Because I told them all to come to Dad's room.
I thought I was with
down
you.
The hallway and half dressed.
I thought I was with you too.
Okay.
You see, like, Sylvia, like, rolls up in her chair. She's, like, very intently, like, putting the finishing touches on something on her armor. And she's like, I'm coming, jeez.
Spray's head is poking around the doorway, too high for where he actually is.
Sylvia, you've read books. What do you know about hags?
What do I know about hags, Joe? Should I make, is this history, arcana?
Oh.
What check
I think
should I make?
nature, usually.
I mean, I would say either nature or arcana.
I'll go arcana. Sylvia did not pay attention during nature course. I'd say 19.
Okay. You said a 19?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so hags, from what you know, they're ancient beings with origins from the Feywild, but they are just hags with cankers, and they're extremely ugly, and they're just a plague on the mortal world. Unlike other hags, night hags don't go for children; they go for souls. Reason being is they like to sell souls to devils and demons in that never-ending struggle in hell.
Oh.
So what they usually do is they find people who have died with or who've done evil in their lives in hell, and they sell their souls. And when someone goes to hell as an evil person, they literally arrive there as a worm with just their face on the head of the worm. So they collect those worms like farmers and sell those souls to devils and demons. However, the more industrious and enterprising night hags like to come to the material plane, corrupt good people into doing extremely horrible things, getting them killed and taking their soul before it actually arrives in hell, because they can sell those souls at a higher price.
So Sylvia's just going to kind of rattle off all of this information, and she's going to be like, And she's afterwards. She's gonna like kind of like pause and like, okay, I have two. This brings up two questions. One, while it would make sense if a hag was stealing the children, this is not normally a night hag MO. So are there more than is there multiple kinds of hags working together? And two, if a night hag is targeting father, and they tend to corrupt people, what has father done to be considered corrupted?
They also could be corrupting someone who is taking the children. Someone who's otherwise good taking the children is also being corrupted by this night hag. You don't know.
Like slavers.
That is possible, but at the same time, it's definitely targeting Dad.
Oh, for sure. We just don't know whether those reaches lie to. Could be other targets.
Nor also do we know how long it's been targeting father. Maybe it's decided to be petty because we're looking into it.
Hydrate alert, just so everyone knows.
Shit! I need to go get water.
As Sophia explains this and gets to the part about selling souls to devils, just on reflex, Quelith would use his divine sense, which lets me detect anything afflicted by the Hallow spell, or the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of me. Just out of reflex, just like.
Right. You don't feel anything.
That's good. I'm glad. Just woke up, haven't had my coffee yet, not ready to fight anything. That's a lie, I'm always ready to fight something.
Did I find a cart?
Jesus Christ. Yes, you found a cart. 30 gold, motherfucker. Jesus.
I was waiting until you were done with the other stuff. And hey, I didn't know if I would maybe run into a suspicious woman selling cards.
Glass carts turn into sand and explode.
Brand new. Sick.
I hate all of you with an unbridled passion.
Well, just to continue on with the hate, what type of wood is this cart made out of?
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. It's mahogany.
Oh, thank you. Wow, that's really nice.
Actually, I take that back, because you're a soldier. You would want something a little bit more highbrow. This is stained oak.
Ooh, stained oak. You know, I really am a fan of stained oak.
Yes, Prometheus, he did buy the cart. For 30 gold. Mark it on your thingamajigger.
I did. One cart. Yes! I hook it up to my horse. And I'm riding the
Your
cart
horse
back.
protest.
Huh?
Your horse protest.
What?
He is
a war horse.
He's a war horse.
Horse.
It's not ability, it's principle, and you would know this.
Firebrand. But what about the children?
Roll a persuasion check.
Can I roll animal handling?
The children!
No.
Animal handling would be too easy.
Fuck. 2, so a 1.
Yeah. Firebrand, he is not having this shit.
Fine, I'll pull the cart. You walk beside me. Alright, deal. Alright, taking that cart back.
Alright. Okay, so you arrive back at the bar with the cart.
Alright. Wait, it's back at the, no, back at the orphanage, because that's where everyone's at.
Right. Back at the orphanage. I'm sorry, that's my mistake.
Don't worry, everyone, I have the cart. I'm sweating.
Father was attacked last night.
Who has all the gold?
We distributed amongst ourselves, I believe. I have not a lot left.
Yeah, I only have 87 gold on me.
I have 4.
I have a lot.
I have 60.
We got about 50 or so.
I have 4 gold, 100 silver.
Yeah, 60 gold.
Okay. All right. So you arrive back at the orphanage with the cart, and what are you doing when you arrive with the cart? Like, first of all, what is the point of the cart?
Every D&D city mission needs a cart. First of all, you know this. The shenanigans with a cart. Secondly, I have proficiency with land vehicles and was trying to make a transportation device for the kids in case we found them. But Firebrand is really being a drama queen right now. Quite clearly not thinking of the children.
Firebrand kicks you when you say that, not full on, but it just like scrapes your shin. It hurts like a bitch.
That hurts like a bitch. But think of the children, Firebrand. Come on now. We'll talk about this later.
We're having a bit of a spat.
Lover's quarrel.
Mommy hit daddy at the dinner table, and now they're fighting. Okay, all right. So what are you guys doing now? You have the cart, affectionately called the Honda Civic by Prometheus. But what are you guys doing?
This is like a newer Honda Civic, at least.
So last night, so you see, Sylvia has her scale mile on, but it's different now. You see, there's kind of like, it's sort of like these there's these runes kind of carved in it, and you could tell like when she made that Arcana check, they kind of lit up a little bit, almost like when she was brimming with intelligence. They kind of reacted to her being a smarty pants. She's like, well, so what I was thinking, brothers, is I was like, when, in my thing of night hags, I don't happen to know if they have like true sight or anything like that, right?
What's
with
true
that
sight?
This is a meta question to Joe.
Oh, but then I actually don't know. Let me check. I don't know in or out of character.
I don't know. I don't know either.
That's actually a really good question. That matters, actually.
I was gonna say, it depends on the hag.
Yeah, it does depend on the hag. I just want to see if night hags have that.
Nope.
No, not that I see.
Okay. All right. So we're going to assume Sylvia either knows they don't have it or is unsure, but is leaning towards no. So I'm thinking if we can find this woman, I can just cast Disguise Self on myself, make myself look like a little orphan, which isn't too much of a stretch from the truth. I'll just make myself look like I did when I was 12 years old. I'll just, kind of roll around in the dock, hang out, try to not get myself kidnapped, but maybe kind of do. So keep an eye on me. Can someone pass me back one of my seashells? I'll keep in contact that way.
Quayla, give it a shell.
Thank you, Quayla.
Just imagine like Quayla just like staring at a wall. Oh.
Quayla and Cold are both like holding onto the sending stones, like
just waiting to be told what to do with it.
And, in case there's any water involved, does anyone want to borrow my hat? Because I'm probably not going to wear this going in. Because
you rest, Bob.
I have my own hat.
Does it let you breathe underwater?
No. But it's
here
more
you go.
stylish.
Excuse, I was like, snakeskin is very stylish. Here you go. So
yes, mine's like a turtle bowler thing. Remember?
Yeah, that is true. So this is it's a boonie hat. It's made of a python, and it functions as a hat of water breathing. So should you?
I think it's safe to assume that she is not working alone. The time period between the amount of children, from when children went missing and the amount of children does not add up to a single person doing this.
Are hags known to work in groups, perhaps?
I mean, hags don't like each other, but there are cases of them working together, putting aside their dislike for their evil little games.
Give me another Yeah, give me another history check.
That or,
It's
you
kind
know.
of like, so what you're saying, Sylvia, is it's
That
kind
or
of
nature.
like the Army and the Navy working together.
Kind of. I was a 9, like, yeah, kind of like the Army and the Navy, only, I guess, more insufferable?
Yeah, I mean, with a 9, you're like, maybe? You're not entirely sure.
I don't know, maybe she's, like, mind-washing the children, and the children are kidnapping other children, too. I mean, the hags are fucky.
Pied Pipering her way through it.
I did not listen for flute music. My bad. My bad, guys.
It's at such a high pitch that only the children can hear it because we're too old. The frequency is too high.
Oh, obviously.
Well,
roll to notice flautist? No, just kidding.
Well, this armor will help me escape if she gets too grabby. I probably should have prepared expeditious retreat, but I like making shit explode too much. So I figure, I'm the bait. If some of the more sneaky folks want to maybe lurk nearby, maybe if Firebrand gets over himself, someone could ride the cart. You guys could all hide in the cart, and maybe tail me. This is a great idea, brother. I don't know if that's where you're going, but I love this.
I can silently communicate with you with my brain.
That works too.
So
Yeah.
you don't even have to use the phones if you can't talk.
Wait.
That's a good idea.
I kneel down by Spray. Wait. You can talk in minds? Convince Firebrand to use the cart.
Brother, I don't know if that's how it works.
Okay, just so I'm clear, where are you going with the cart once everyone's in it? And if you convince Firebrand to take the cart?
We're just gonna, it's gonna be like one of those like carts kind of like rolling by, like transporting goods near the docks, just like any other cart that would be taking goods on a cart.
Unsuspicious mahogany cart.
Right, but so you're going to go to the docks with the cart.
Exchange. Where are we going?
Mm-hmm.
It would be somewhere. It would be like moving slow down by the docks, and
Shadowing Sylvia.
within like 100 feet of Sylvia.
Okay. So, just so we're clear, you're essentially trying to bait someone into kidnapping Sylvia.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I just wanted to...
Is there a building taller than the rest down by the docks?
Not particularly. They're mostly... They're more or less equal size. They're near the dock. The taller buildings don't start happening until you start going into the inner city.
Trying to think of a vantage point I could hide on.
Also, Bjorka, I can talk to Firebrand. His limited telepathy doesn't require a language match.
Say please.
Oh, Firebrand, won't you please think of the children?
I do want to find a building that I
Can
kind of
Firebrand
see.
talk back?
No, it's one way.
Okay, I guess give me a persuasion check.
I will help you embarrass Bjorka later. If you do this for me.
I have a good relationship with this horse, contrary to the popular belief.
Yes, and friends always like to see their friends humiliated.
Damn it.
Okay, persuasion. Please +7 work for me.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, you obviously hate children.
Firebrand runs at you, Spray, and knocks you over. It doesn't appreciate you impregnating its mind.
Oh, alright, I won't do it again.
Fine, we'll go get a different horse. Fuck, this is actually fucking ridiculous.
Well, brothers, while you sort that out, I think I'm going to head down towards the dock. I'll just have to reapply this once every hour. I can do this for about unideally 6 hours, but yeah.
I
We'll
want
follow
to.
from the alleys.
Okay.
I want to shadow
Ray will
Sylvia.
run you with the crowds. Ray has city secrets, so we can find a nice little nook.
I'll say, like, if we, like, start out in the alley, like, Sylvia will be there, you'll see her, like...
Well, let's stagger ourselves and have Sylvie walk a route, essentially.
Okay. All right.
Plan something on a map.
Yeah, so, like,
Okay.
we're all, like, roughly 100 feet apart from each other so that we've got, like, 400 feet of coverage of someone's nearby, kind of a thing.
Oh, okay.
When she casts Disguise Self, you'll see, like, she's in the, I guess she's, like, in the alley. She, like, has, like, the thieves' tools on her, and you'll see she just kind of like clicks them together, and it's almost like she's, like, massaging her temples, and as she does that, she just magically kind of transforms to look like she's about half a foot shorter. She's looking like she did when she was, like, about 16 years old. And you also see, I believe this also works, I think it also works with a wheelchair, so the wheelchair is going to look less, it won't look as, like, it won't have, like, the float stones or anything. It'll look like just like an old manual wheelchair.
Okay.
I'll double check that, but I believe self spells also affect the. Yeah, being part of you is an extension of your body. Both you and the chair say the benefit of the spell's effect and the duration until the spells drop. So the wheelchair is going to look more like a wooden. I mean, it's still a wooden chair, but it's going to look less fancy.
Oh, is that stained oak?
No, it's. I mean, it's stained, but not the type of stain you're talking about, brother. But
Just pine.
maybe a little sweat stain. Maybe some blood, but.
All right. So you guys set up your sting operation. With that, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in about let's call it about 3 minutes.
Okie dokie. Just enough time to pop some corn, maybe.
Yes. Yes, so BattleBard is definitely super generous. Allowed us to use the, take us back to the actual scene because you can only hear me. They are super generous. They allowed us to use their pretty much the entire full catalog as we see fit for this campaign. If you use the link below, you can get a 20% discount on your purchase on BattleBards. Currently, what you're listening to is Large City, a city humans built in day by Wild Dog Productions. There will be more things we may or may not use later on. That's what you've listened to so far. But truly appreciate you guys' support, and we'll be right back in about 3 minutes.
Looks good, though.
Way better than my chips I just shoved in my face.
But yes, we are back, and we are going to begin the Operation Sting, I guess. That's another thing. Have you guys decided on a name for your company?
The Cartless Wonders.
But we have a cart now.
Almost.
Okay, so you have Sylvia in front pretending to be a child, and you guys are staggered at 100-yard intervals behind each other, or 100-feet intervals.
I would think 100 feet.
Okay.
Which I will be at, like, one end of the dock area, because I can be more effective further away than some of the other siblings.
Okay.
Whatever
Sylvia.
end ends up, I'll be on one of them.
Okay. Sylvia, so how are you acting as you're walking through the city?
Well, I mean, she's just wheeling herself around. She's heading towards the dock, so she's just going to be filled with a childlike wonderment of the ships and the sea and everything going on. She's just going to be kind of curious, checking things out. You know, not too different from normal, really, if you really think about it. Only she knows how most of this shit works, so maybe she's faking it a little bit, but...
So Bjarka would be about 120 feet away on Firebrand.
Stray will find something about his size to hide behind.
I was planning on being close to the dock, somewhere that I could see most of the docks along the street that Sylvia was going to be coming down, and be up on a roof.
Okay.
I will say also, as a note, realistically, she would have left her weapons behind, but it's not like she uses them, so I'm just going to unequip those real fast.
Okay.
Except for maybe a sling. I can see children having a sling on them, you know.
Okay. So, Sylvia, you make it to the docks, and you're, like you said, you're walking around with that face of wonderment. And give me a perception check.
She's great at those. The 7.
You don't really notice anything at this point. I mean, it just seems like a normal dock. Stinky people who probably could do with a shower. People yelling, trying to sell things. People loading, people unloading. Ships coming in, ships coming out. It seems relatively normal.
Gotcha.
But that...
Oh, you were about to say something.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, do I see any other kids nearby playing?
I mean, there's some, yeah. There's some kids. They're farther away from the dock because most children aren't allowed near the dock just in case they fall in. But there are some kids who are kind of playing on the road that's perpendicular to the dock.
She's gonna wheel herself over there and see if she can play with them. Like, hi, my name's Sylvie. Can I play?
You kind of like come back and they're like, How old are you?
I'm 16. How old are you?
Give me a deception check.
Oh, no. Do I get advantage because I look like I'm 16, or?
Well, if you fail, you can add D4 because of the talent.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
I was like, but how are you gonna play? You look broken.
Oh, ableist. Oh, more kids that need to get beat.
Yeah. What are they playing, Joe?
Arrow levels on them from the...
They're playing hopscotch.
Bjarka's just like cracking his knuckles in the back. Ooh. Ooh.
Well, when I was little, I used to play when I played hopscotch when I was even younger. Hi, Brittany. When I played hopscotch when I was even younger, I had to do little tricks on my chair. So I may not be able to hop, but I can definitely, check it out. You might be surprised. She's gonna try to do some fucking sick ass wheelchair tricks to hopscotch.
Okay, this is gonna be interesting. I don't know if I want to do like an acrobatics check.
She's really not. I mean, yeah. I mean, I could do acrobatics.
Yeah, I feel like acrobatics would be the best thing for this.
Wow.
I knew I could see her.
Yeah.
I heard her come down the.
That acrobatics though.
Yo.
That is a 19, Joe.
Sick ollie.
So. How about this? Describe to me what sick tricks you're doing.
I just picture her doing wheelie hops and stuff, she kind of if it's a hop, it's like one wheel, two wheel, one wheel, two wheel, and because it's disguised, she could also totally just be tapping on the float stone and have it just look like the wheelchair is doing crazy shit, but it's kind of bouncing a little bit, get a little lift from it.
Yo, I need you to make a concentration check with disadvantage.
Yeah, I think I'm trying. I'm so sorry, Ian. I'm trying.
You guys saw Onion Ring ASMR before.
And at the end, she just kind of does a little wheelie and spins around, and then just leans on the side of the chair after
This
she's
is a kid show.
Your
Please
turn.
watch what you say before you get me kicked off the Twitch.
I ain't doing that. I ain't saying that.
Mm-hmm. It is really hard to concentrate.
That sounds like a personal problem.
Okay, so you do your sick ollies and tricks, and they're kind of clapping and cheering you on, and they agree that you can play with them. So, but I need another acrobatics check for your attempt at hopscotch in a wheelchair. This is gonna be great.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Like
Come on.
Another 19.
Oh, fucking sick. Take this, children, in your shit game.
Hello, fellow kids. You look broken. Check this shit.
One
I'm not
small step
touching
for
you.
man, one giant wheelchair leap
I'm
for
not
wheelchair
touching
guy. Here we go.
Can I please run this game, please? Please.
Why should I grant you that peace? Roll the initiative.
Okay. All right. So, moving on.
Reduce.
All right. So, yeah. So you rolled another 19. So you are hopscotch. I guess you're hopscotching on one wheel.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I say, she, even though the chair is disguised to look kind of old and ratty, she does have the float stones on there, so she might, be subtly kind of tapping underneath the chair to as she's hidden, helping it get that aerodynamic-ness as she kind of bounces along, kind of disguising it more like she's gripping onto the bottom of the chair. She's
And this
Okay.
Twitch chat has been a lesson in ableism and what we don't say to people that are different than us, because then they kick your ass at the game that you think you're good at.
If Sylvia was literally any of my other characters, just be double birds at the end.
Brought to you by Brittany. God damn it.
Is that the holder?
Okay, so yeah, so you got a bit of rapport with these kids. So what do you want to do with that rapport?
I guess among various conversations, maybe ask about that lady.
Love you too. Good night.
If love you too. Good night. Just to see if any of them have seen hey I guess talk about stuff hey, have you ever seen a lady who looks like this? I saw her here the other day and she was really nice to me. Said I would meet her here again, but I didn't get her name. You guys ever seen her before? And she'd describe the presumed hag.
I don't know. You probably mean Esmeralda.
Esmeralda?
Yeah, she. That's what you mean, right? The one who gives out candy.
Yeah. Yeah, that candy was really good.
Huh. What do you want with her?
Lord Candy? Oh, she was really nice.
Mm-hmm. Except her name isn't Esmeralda. And if you knew her, you'd know that.
I said I didn't know what her name was. So you just lied to me after I hopscotch? That's really mean.
Mm-hmm. And the little kid pulls out a dagger and puts it to your neck, and she says, "What do you want with Granny?"
Oh, that's it.
Oh my God! Wait, Joe. Oh man.
Let's
do I want to blow up a small child? Do I want to?
I
blow
might be
This,
shooting a child.
just so we're clear, this is like an 8-year-old child.
And I am going
I
to
know.
cold cock this kid right in the back of the head in 1 second.
I mean, you could just sit on him.
I want to just
You don't know if they might be mind controlled.
Yeah,
And this will break the spell. Just one swift punch.
I don't know if it works that way.
Let's see. She'll be like, "Whoa!" I mean, it's her candy. Esmeralda's name is Granny. Is there like a limit on the candy? Like, I can share the candy if you want.
Silver, the only option: pull a gun on him.
I'm fucking thinking about it. I was checking to see if I could catapult the thing out of his hands, but he can't be wielding it.
Just pull the knife. You pull out a gun.
I mean, I could summon a tentacle under him, and I could protect you.
See. We'll see.
Well, in that
We'll try to-
regard,
we'll try to
how
talk
far
to him.
away is everyone? Because
I'm
technically, Sylvie was walking like kind of off the docks a little to go see the kids.
I'm staying 120 away.
Prey wanted to shadow her, so I assume they've been kind of following slightly.
Gotta
Right.
keep reminding myself I'm neutral good and not summon my flamethrower.
I'm 120 away because I can get there.
Okay. I mean, so what do you? I mean, the kid is in front of her. So if you're behind Sylvia, you haven't seen the knife yet.
That's
I
why
think-
this child is conscious.
Yeah.
I think the one person who's definitely seen the knife besides Sylvie is Quayla because he's on the roof.
I'm trying real hard to not shoot because I rolled real crappy on an insight check.
Oh shit! Yeah.
To the Raven Queen.
I'm trying to decide. Like, I mean,
You
can shoot to
Quinn
knock
on the
unconscious.
roof, like doing as they have a knife dance.
You know, Sylvia's like, I mean, if there's not a lot of candy, we can always share.
What kind of candy do you got?
On me, none.
What do you want with Granny? She's nice to us. She said you'd be snooping around.
She said I'd be snooping around. But does she not like me anymore? Is she
She
alive?
doesn't like adults, Sylvia.
Sylvia's just gonna raise an eyebrow, and she's like, "Okay, that's real creepy." Joe, is there any open flame near Sylvia, like within like 60 feet, non-magical? Preferably with no innocent victims nearby.
Let's see.
Does that mean the deception check earlier failed? Because she should have been able to use the talisman on that.
Well, it was super low. The talisman wouldn't have helped.
What? I rolled a 15 on my deception.
Oh, well, okay.
No,
we will fix that next time. Because we've already had a whole conversation. We're gonna decide that with this. As of right now, there are no open flames in your area.
Okay, that's one. Let's see. What could I do that will not kill these children?
I can aim to maim. Just give me a signal. I'm sure we had a signal set up. Just point at him or something.
How far away is this? This kid's within 5 feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sylvia is just going to non-lethally try to run, just slam them with a tire on her, like slam her with a tire on the wheelchair.
Right on your toes.
So I just want to hear you say it. You want to run over an 8-year-old child.
I am non-lethally slamming into an 8-year-old child who has a dagger with my wheelchair.
He does not know what he's doing. It's okay.
It's for his own safety.
I mean, there was alternative. I could use the sling, but it would be a disadvantage to this close range. The sling might not hurt as bad, but then I'm also shooting a child, which, I mean...
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
Knock him out.
All right. Whack! Non-lethal.
Yeah,
I cannot stress this enough.
Okay, you non-lethally knock out an 8-year-old child.
Bam! Okay. Sylvie's just like... She's gonna scoop up the dagger and, she's gonna, flip it back into her chair. She's like, alright, let's try this again.
Do I see any of the other ones?
I asked nicely for candy.
The rest of them run away.
Oh. Okay. She's giving chase.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, let's go.
Everyone gets
running.
Bjarka's gonna stop and actually pick up the kid. Even if I'm gonna be behind, and I'm just gonna make sure that the kid is, okay. Because obviously he's been influenced by somebody that's handing out daggers to children, which is already this is a toxic home that this child is in right now, and the city doesn't care.
Or the night hags that want to make people do bad things so they can steal their souls.
They're using kids, right?
Probably. Who the fuck knows?
Kids going? Is this I can do a chase scene with them kind of thing, or is this for plot reasons they scatter away?
I mean, if you want to chase them, yes, you can.
Okay. Let's fucking do this.
Shit, yeah.
You just hear she pulls out the arcane firearm, she just shoots at the chair, you just hear a whirr noise and little jet engines fire up off the back. Whoosh!
That's a new one. That's really kind of terrifying. I just watched the wheelchair go.
Yeah, so you're speeding at them like a Fast and the Furious movie. They all cut into an alleyway. Do you have what's the turning on this baby?
I mean, it's pretty tight. It is a combat wheelchair.
Use your bonus action to Tokyo Drift. Bonus action Tokyo Drift.
Yes!
You will have the talisman if it's an acrobatics check.
That's true. You almost remember the same idea I did.
She can always tap the float stone to kind of give it that little, whoosh, just
Let's go.
All right, give me an acrobatics check.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Another 19. Another 19. That's not a 19.
That's a D4, right?
It's a D4 additional, yes.
That's an 11.
Be worse. Could be worse.
With that 11, you Tokyo drift right into a manure cart.
Oh.
Actually, no, it's not a manure cart. It's a cabbage cart. And then there's a peasant right next to it, my cabbages.
Just like trying to bat the cabbages off of her and stuff like.
Yeah, there's a cabbage on your head. There's a cabbage in your mouth. Somehow there's 2 cabbages on your fist, so you're rolling your wheelchair with 2 cabbages.
This is big cabbage. This cabbage ball.
Cabbage golem.
She's like on their sending stone, like, all right, they're down the alleyway. I'm following them.
All right.
As Respa and Spray are following, we're gonna link up and follow through some sneaky alleyways.
These secrets will let us get there twice as fast as normal, so that should be pretty speedy.
Are the rooftops like really close together? Like it'd be pretty easy to jump from one roof to another, or is it like?
Did you use your bonus action to parkour? Parkour.
Parkour, go!
Parkour. Make sure you say parkour every time you jump.
I'm gonna need if you want to do that, Quaylith, you can. I need an acrobatics check.
Let's go.
Because you're literally jumping from roof to roof.
It's just like dusty-looking elf, just.
Okay, with a 16, you make I'll say you make your first like 6 jumps. I'm not gonna make you roll that many, but yeah, you're gonna make your first 6 jumps. So you're not as fast as Sylvia, obviously, because she's literally propelled with sorcery. But you're moving pretty fast. Then what are the rest of you doing? I called her. What are you doing?
Well, everyone just started bouncing, right? I should probably follow him. Especially the one who flew into a fruit garden. Cabbages.
My cabbages!
Probably need help.
Okay.
I did an 18 medicine check just to make sure the kid's all right. I will actually. I don't know if the kid.
Ooh. Okay.
Out.
So, get my pen and paper and my D20.
Oh.
No.
What evil shit?
Like
Big guy's face.
So, with that 18 medicine check, this kid grabs you by the scruff of. Before you react, because before you do something you may regret, let me finish the description, please. Please, let me finish.
The kid grabs you. Bam!
So it grabs you.
Remember, I stole the kid's knife. You're good.
Well, one of them
grabs me.
Nice.
The kid grabs me.
And it says in a otherworldly voice, "The soul thief has us prisoner."
Oh my God!
And it passes
these
us.
Kids.
What happened?
I don't know.
Carl?
I think he just covered his camera to do something.
Okay. It was wild because he said something and it just went black.
No, he said like the soul. He said something about they're totally using kids, and they just vanished.
That is incredibly creepy. But we're going to help. Where are the other children?
She passed out after that.
Shit. Okay. All right, but they're like okay.
Well, yeah, they're not like.
Yeah, they're not like obviously got hit in the head and are like hurt. Well, like were like hurt, but they're okay. That's my main goal here, making sure that they're okay. Is there any of the local authorities near? Do I see any like local guards or whatever?
Not where you are, because you're running through like alleyways and stuff at this point, right?
I didn't follow. I stayed with the kid. I didn't.
Right. So you didn't move. Okay. So yeah, there are a few there are a few guards here and there on the dock.
Okay, so I'm gonna carry the child over like to the kid over to the guards and just say, I think this might be one of the missing children. I'm bringing this child to you. There's been a development with things. You need to make sure that this child gets to, what do you call them, a medica?
Yeah.
To a medica and make sure that they're all right. We're going, okay.
Okay, so you want the guard to take them to a medica.
Yep, to make sure that they're all right and stable and good.
Yeah, they'll agree, and you're.
All right, awesome. I gotta go, like now. And so then I'll hop on Firebrand and I'll just dash that way. So I move 120 feet around. So however long it would take me to start catching up, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah. So it's going to take you. It's going to take you a little bit because one is rocket propelled and the others are well ahead of you. But you are running. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not running. I'm actually on Firebrand doing the 120-foot dash on the horse.
Mhm.
So however long that is, doesn't matter.
All right. Okay. So the rest of you, Sylvia, give me a acrobatics check because the kids are going to take another hard turn.
Oh boy. How many D4s do I get? Is that just once a day or
maximum of 3 times a day?
All right, that's a 6 then.
Okay.
Would have been good enough.
All right. So with a 6, you hit a wall.
Ooh.
So it doesn't break your chair because I'm not gonna take away your character thing, but you definitely get a face full of shack.
Oof. All right. How much damage do I take?
Let me see.
There is whatchamafaceit. There is a system for tracking damage to the chair.
Okay.
We
have to go over that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to take 2 bludgeoning damage as you hit this shack.
Oh, that's not too bad. Okay.
Yeah, you miss the soft door and you go right into the granite wall.
Ugh. She rolls back for a second. Should have used spider climb today. She's gonna continue on her chasing of the children.
Right. Okay. Okay, and the rest of you are still going. How do I do this? Because you guys are behind.
Spray and Vespa can essentially ignore the streets, and we would move at technically 120 feet each turn, because if we dash, that's 60, and then City Secrets doubles.
Yeah, you guys would catch up
buildings and stuff.
You guys would I just imagine the market chase scenes where they're except they're the guys that are running away, that are sliding under tables, and
we're full on Aladdin and Agrabah, just
super proficient street running.
They've done this before.
Multiple times.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess you ignore the streets. So does that mean you still have to make checks, right?
We basically just move at it requires half as much time for us to cover the same amount of distance because we're essentially using shortcuts that Spray can find.
Oh, okay. So you're closer than so you're pretty close.
Yes. And they are in the alleyways, so
Okay. All right. So just give me an athletics check to keep up, I guess.
oh goodness.
Come on, asthmatics. He's not actually asthmatic. Fuck, but it's a 2, so maybe today he is.
Respa does not run.
Oh,
It does not.
hang on.
Oh, brother.
I have some shenanigans. What is? That's not a saving throw. Yeah, we're gonna spend a sorcery point to re-roll that.
Nice.
It's better.
You know, technically a substantial percent improved.
That's a 50% higher roll.
It is. Totally worth a spell point.
was
So I got a
gonna
3.
use my inspiration to keep up with you, but I guess we'll hang on.
Nope. Nope, it's fine.
No. Oh, we should have kept that talisman.
It's all fine.
Okay. All right. So a 3. Do you have any type of inspiration?
Not that I'm aware of.
Good. Okay. So with that 3, while you do follow them pretty well, you follow them, and as you're going over one of the roofs, you trip on the lip, and you land face first into the terracotta shingles, and you go through the shingles, and you end up on someone's breakfast nook
Nice.
while they're eating breakfast.
Okay, so there's someone there.
Yes.
So as I like fall and land, and I'll just be like, "Pardon me, you haven't happened to see some children run by?" And then I'll dive out their window. I can play it off as smoothly as I can.
Is that cabbage? Dives.
Oh god.
Excellent breakfast choice.
All right. So they're not even screaming. It's just the shock of someone coming through the roof. They're kind of just sitting there. So do you get up, or are you eating breakfast? Like, what's going on?
Oh, yeah, I'm. If they've got a window or something, I'm literally just diving out it. I don't know what's on the other side, but it's better than just chilling in someone's breakfast nook. So we're just.
Roll me a
Full
D100.
forward. God, let's go.
You fall into a swimming pool of pudding.
74.
Okay, so you do dive out the window, but you come out with enough velocity that you miss the devil's thorn bush that's right outside. And you combat roll or past it, and you look behind you and realize how much pain you could have been in.
Brother, are you
If I had
alright
landed
down
in
there?
that, you'd be burning. What's that, Spray?
Are you alright down there, brother?
Not really, but it's fine.
Alright.
And then I guess I run after Spray's voice, assuming he's still going the right direction.
When Spray has to lead, I will shout down directions from the rooftops to the alleyways.
Okay. All right, so let's see. Oh. Well, that's a thing. All right. Okay, so everyone give me an athletics check.
I'm not even using the fucking talisman for this. Jesus.
Wow, guys.
Ooh.
Do you want me to make it, or do you want my horse to make it?
Oh, you are your horse? You can ride your horse through there if you'd like. So yeah, go, you can make your horse make it.
I'm gonna burn another sorcery point because anything's better than a 1. I'll take an 11. Massive improvement.
So he's just gonna have to tank the 1.
My horse has the same addition to athletics as I do, so 21.
Okay. All right, so, I mean, you're good. Respa, you're there. Who else rolled? Quaylith. You're good. And Sylvia, is that a red 1 I see on my screen?
That's a natural 1. That is
Okay.
a natural 1.
Okay. Roll me a D100.
Oh, boy.
Your arms are going jello.
So, you lose control of your wheelchair.
Yeah.
And you ramp off another cart that's sitting at an incline in the alleyway. You have yourself a full E.T. phone home moment as you're flying through the air and you land directly through someone's wall into their bedroom.
Love it.
I just like how she still looks like a she just looks like a 16-year-old in this like ratty chair with fucking jet engines on the back, just like, ugh. Oh my goodness. Shit, prepared spider climb today. What are the effects of me landing in this person's bedroom?
Well, you are prone.
Okay. Wait. Does Expeditious Retreat do something with that? I don't think it does. Alright. I am prone.
Okay. And you're going to take 3 damage, luckily.
Alright. At this point, she's going to drop disguise self, so she's going to revert back to her older-looking self and like the chair-looking thing. So she's going to tap on the beacon stone, and the chair, like using half of its movement, is just going to right itself back up with like the third stabilizing wheel. Just whoop, whoop. Ugh. Is there anyone in the bedroom?
No. Whew. All right, so the rest of you see these kids run into a building. And are you following?
What does the building look like?
I almost forgot.
Like any other house in the alleyway.
It looks like a house.
Correct.
And they ran through, like, just the front door?
Right.
Is there a...
At Sylvia.
Actually, just kidding, Joe. I'm going to use one of the charges of my armor of magical strength to avoid being knocked prone.
Oh, nice.
You're going to use your what?
I'm going to use one charge of the armor of magical strength that I finished this morning to avoid being knocked prone. I mean, it still fucking hurts, but at least I won't be prone from it.
Is there roof access into this house, like a door on the roof?
Yes.
I will make my way to that door.
Bjarka's gonna note the address of the home. Can I make a perception check for any city guard?
You're trying to look for more city guard in the alleyways?
Well, no, just is the main entrance into this home in an alleyway, or what's the exact layout? Well, so just on the main the main thoroughfare there, not in the alley, but I'll look in.
Well, you would have to go all the way back out.
How far is all the way back out?
About 3 rounds out.
3 rounds, so like 180 feet. Is there, or like some 90 feet?
I'm saying it's going to take you 3 rounds. Regardless, it's going to take you 3 rounds. It's not by feet; it's by round. It's going to be a 3 round
Even okay, I just didn't know if it'd be any different because I move a lot faster than everyone else.
No, I understand that, but you guys are far in. This chase has been going for a while.
Oh, okay. So I'll just note the address then.
Okay.
Is there any windows on the outside?
Not really. No. There are a few on the upper floors, but not on the bottom floor. But that's just, I mean, you know that because they build houses that way for security reasons.
Are there any markings by the door?
No. Not that you could see as you were running in.
Well,
Trying to be quiet moving in there. Well, with the 24, I quietly opened the roof access and...
So we saw you, like, did you motion to us, Coilith, that you were, like, going that way?
I probably not. I would have seen you guys see the kids go in there and just assumed that you were going in also. Spray is up on the roofs also, so Spray would have seen me go in.
Okay,
I can telepathically beam down to Bjarka. Oh, Quill's going in.
Oh, really? Okay, that's fine. Respa, follow my lead. I just walk up to the door, so I get a firebrand, walk up to the door, and I'm just going to, you know what, knock.
I'm 10 feet behind him.
I'll just knock.
Scamper after Quill's. Brother, wait!
Actually, since I'm, like, military, I'll cop knock.
You're gonna cop knock. Roll me a intimidation check, officer.
Natural 20 for a 22.
Nice.
The door creaks open slowly.
Do I see anyone?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. Shit. 7.
No, you don't see anyone.
Hello, and kind of doing that, like subtle, like push the door, like open. See if it just like opens up the rest of the way, or someone is like bracing on it. So actually, when I touch the door, does it feel like there's someone on it? You know, like you can kind of tell someone's like on the door or not. And I'm gonna slide my right foot. Wow, this is such a cop thing. Sliding my right foot so that if they tried to close the door, it would just hit my foot and would not close. Opening the door.
Okay. Okay, so you open the door without any problem.
Is it dark? What do I see anything better now with the morning light?
It's relatively dark, but for a light that seems to be coming from under a door across the room that you're walking in.
Okay, not completely stepping in. I'm going to cast Produce Flame. I get a 10-foot radius of bright light and then an additional 10 feet of dim.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me the layout of this room now that I shed some light on this mystery?
Yeah, so you see on like normal drapery, you see a wooden table and chair set in the corner. You see a few like murals and pots and urns, but other than that, the room's empty.
Does it look clean or does it look dusty at all?
It looks mostly dusty.
Can I make a survival check to see if I see the footprints and which way they go?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Too many feet prints, natural one.
Yeah, you don't see any feet prints.
I just look back at Respa, and I tell him to like follow close, stick close, as we both go in. If you follow me, Respa.
I do, and like as I'm walking and like we're about to cross the threshold, I'm just like instantly doing the little self cross I do when I cast Mage Armor.
So I have the produce flame up so that we can see. And then Sylvia, are you behind us then?
Yeah, I guess you would have caught up at this point.
So we're kind of like in just like this little common room, and then there's another door with light underneath that we saw before I lit up the room, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll approach that door.
Okay. So you hear a swirling as you're approaching that door.
Swirling, menacing. I look at Respa, and I just kind of just whisper, just like, "Be ready."
I'll take my staff off my pack and I'll cast light on the tip of it so we have a secondary light source in case Bjarka needs to throw his.
Yeah, so I still have that produce flame. Is the door open?
No.
No?
I mean, are you mean is it locked, or are you saying
It's
is
locked.
it open?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean by open, sorry.
Yeah. So yes, it is locked.
It is locked. Actually.
Bjarka.
Locked.
I'll pull my thieves' tools out and attempt to unlock said door.
Okay.
I have, like, the Yu Yu Hakusho, like, spirit gun with my produce flame.
Sylvia has like her arcane firearm in hand.
17.
What are you thinking? Flamethrower, ballista, or my little mending guy?
Ooh. Not sure yet.
So with that 17, you open this lock with ease, and the door creaks open safely.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and, like, move Respa back behind me just instinctively.
I'll let him very easily.
And I'll go first, opening the door. What is the source of this menacing swirling?
It looks to be a portal.
A portal. Like, what kind of portal? Like
A portal that, as you look in, it seems though it's a portal into the sewer.
So there's just like kind of like a hole in the ground.
No, it's not in the ground. It's like hovering in the middle of the room.
Oh,
So it's a magical portal that is like a jump into the sewers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm gonna turn to both Sylvia and Respa, and I'll say, Sylvia, you should check this out. Wait, where's the others? If you want to switch to them, Joe.
I was going to ask how tall the building was, like how many floors do I have to...
Sweep before I got down there.
32.
Like one, like one story. So I mean, through that time, you're at ground level.
Winded. So many stairs.
Wait, is there stairs in this room?
Like down a hallway.
Yeah, because I didn't see a hallway.
You haven't looked at the whole room.
Oh, how big is the room? Sorry.
It's pretty big, and there's a wall. And around that corner, that's where Quail is coming from.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
If I come on the portal from the opposite side that they basically.
And you didn't see anything upstairs, Quayle?
Nobody up there. I assume they went through that thing.
Brother, you can't just run off like that.
What? You saw me? You're fine. Everybody's fine. Everybody's here. Nobody died.
He's just winded. I'm gonna. So Garga's got some dice. I'll pull out my gaming dice, and I'm just gonna look at Resp and say, "Are you feeling lucky?" And I'm just going to toss my my dice into the portal to see what it does.
Okay, you throw the dice in the portal. You don't really see if they land because it's like a event horizon effect happening, but they just go through the portal.
They don't they don't incinerate or anything?
Not that you can tell, no.
Well,
Why are they coming out of the teleporter crispy and black?
well,
Actually, a toaster? Toaster portal.
Little convection oven portal.
Ooh, lucky 7. That's on the other side of the portal. Shall we?
I mean, no time like the present.
Fair enough.
I'll go through first.
Whoever has,
Wait, can it be one of those where
whoever has
and I
the
walk
should
through
go through.
at the same time?
Whoever goes through should have the other sending stone, so they can like let us know if they're alive.
Oh, sure. I'll just get the one that Calder had and hand it to Quaylith, so Sylvia and Quaylith can communicate. And
Okay.
so yeah, me and Quaylith will like walk into the portal on opposite sides at the same time and go through.
Now kiss.
So Quaylith, you're on the other side. You get repelled back.
Oh, okay. Well, fine. Be that way, magical portal. I'll walk around the other side and then follow Bianca through.
That's funny. Now kiss.
I did not. That was less epic than I expected it to be. But we didn't explode.
Not yet.
Yeah, what do we see? Ooh. Did I find my dice?
Yes, you found your dice.
Ooh, 7. Not bad.
Did you wait a minute? I just realized what you said. You jerk. Yeah. So yeah, you find your dice, and you guys end up here.
What the Make-A-Wish kid thing?
Yes, with the Make-A-Wish
kid
kid.
deserved it. That kid fucking deserved it. He had it coming.
Yeah, he's alright. Yeah, she's alright. I made sure of it.
Oh no, not again. In the Twitch chat, I was talking about how in my other game, I play a neutral evil bard. In the very last game we played, I told a Make-A-Wish kid who was being very sassy to us that his hero didn't want to meet him, which was the truth. And I just ruined his day. It was great.
Damn. heavy.
It was.
I see.
Everyone's like, "Oh my god, dude, that's so me." I'm like, "I'm evil. You forget I'm evil."
Well,
Really,
there's me,
it's
two of
the
me
hero
on
that's
the
the
map.
real jerk here. Let's be honest.
Malcolm's such a fun fucking character. He's so good.
Okay, so you guys arrive in this room. There is a portal behind you that seems to lead right back out to where you came from. But instead of the house you came from, it looks like it's coming. It looks like it's letting you out somewhere in the middle of the city.
Are there any doors in this room?
Pretty, yeah,
So,
I will be casting
Bjark-
produce light.
Yep, Bjarka still has his flame up, and I've got light on my
Right. Okay. How do you guys want to move forward? Okay. Yeah, so in this room there are two pillars that extend from the roof to the ground, and not far from Sylvia, near one of Sylvia's shoulders, is a door that seems to lead out of the room that you just appeared in. Oh. That may be the issue there. Hold on. Good. Well, you're gonna leave. You're not gonna be in this room much longer, so we'll deal with that another time. All right. So what do you guys? So recipe, you're checking to see if there are any type of traps. So give me a perception check. All right, that is a natural 1. So this, yeah, I mean, it looks really good. I mean, this is probably, I mean, the door seems relatively normal. You don't see any outward signs of traps. You don't see any wires, any, what do you call it? Any weights, any slants, any fulcrums, nothing like that. Okay, it is not locked. Oh. Well, thank her, and I will fix that now. Okay, you should be good now. All right.
Okie dokie.
So you open this door.
And then I immediately turn to Bjarka and say, "Brother, after you."
Oh, well, of course.
I have dark vision. Do you want me to go first?
Oh, yes, you should definitely go first, then. I have dark vision, too, I think. I just use light just out of... So, Do I actually have dark vision? Yeah, I do. The reason, Koila, above game, why I use light is because there was other people in the cavalry that don't have dark vision, so I'm just used to using light so everyone else can see.
I guess I didn't realize
Oh, wait,
you
no,
didn't
I do have
that you
dark
had
vision.
dark vision.
Yeah, I do have
Always
it.
got light going on.
Yeah, I just do it. It's more so out of the character's habit for other people.
Raspa put light up because Biberica had light out.
Hey, well, I'm used to operating in
Adopted
the dark,
siblings
so.
from.
Yes,
We all have very different heritage.
Yes.
Oh, can you describe the smell? Like this is this like very sewer typical, or is this like strangely not sewer smelling?
I would say it's extremely sewer typical.
Okay, all right, nothing hinky there.
Correct.
Oh, I'll get out of the doorway. Sorry. Is this just look like a giant pool of excrement? I'm actually gonna put my flame out coming into here.
Oh no, I hadn't even thought of that.
Me either.
Yeah, I'm putting that. I'm just gonna be putting that out.
Light's still going. It's 20-foot radius of bright and then 20 feet of dim. So a little extra than what Bjarka had.
Okay. So, Quailov, as you are walking out, you step on a stone that makes a slight click.
Uh-oh.
Brother, that's not a good noise.
I will stop moving.
A chute opens up, and you hear something splosh behind you.
Behind
Like down.
behind whom? Can you
Oh, there.
in the area?
Down this way.
Oh, that way. Oh, okay, got it.
Where the magical portal to a castle is.
No. Well, actually, yes. It seems to be like another portal.
What?
And when you're looking at that castle, you can see a shark swimming around it.
A sky shark.
Really?
I'm afraid to move my foot.
I just look at Sylvia and say, Sylvia, please tell me you read a book about something like this.
She doesn't really have an angle to see it, but if you describe it, she can...
Imagine a shark flying.
Are you sure it's not underwater? The portal just holding the water in?
I don't understand magic, so maybe.
Is there a check I can make, Joe, to be like, what the fuck is this, or...
Yeah, you can attempt an Arcana check.
What's this about underwater?
That would be a 20. A dirty 20.
Okay. You're vaguely familiar with this. And your heart starts beating pretty fast. This is a giant shark bowl. It is the spherical equivalent of a gelatinous cube with a shark inside.
Oh my god.
Not as simple as I was expecting to hear tonight.
Okay.
Yo, this is the best thing I've ever encountered.
That is some creativity that I can sign up for. You know what? I'm stealing this.
Like a sewer cleaner.
I will fully admit I did not create this. This is from the Creature Codex from Kobold Press.
That is
just so you know.
hilarious.
Yes.
bad, bad. Shoot, someone give me an angle. Give me an angle.
I lift my foot. Okay. Move.
As you hear her say, "Someone give me an ant," and when your foot goes off the trigger, another one shows up there.
Oh, that's what it looks like.
So as I walk past, I make sure to step over that trigger, because this is like the shark ooze trigger specifically.
Okay, so we are going into... Yeah, I'm not going to say Prometheus. We're going into turn order.
Roll for turn.
One moment. Hold on, I got to get the initiative up. Yeah, roll for turn order, please.
Oh, you said it.
I said turn order.
No, before it.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. This is my stream. This is my stream. I can create reality as I see fit. I don't ever lord over you guys. This is the one time I'm going to do that shit. One moment. Yes, Mr. Yes, sometimes I'll be slipping. It's hard. And he did that like an hour ago. How is that still standing?
Yeah, that was like when we started the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, how long does that last?
I thought it was like 15 minutes. Okay, lucky for you guys, they rolled booty chatter for their initiative.
Also, we're definitely missing a Calder.
Yes, we are.
Oh, he's back here. Don't worry.
Oh, it's too late. In Prometheus, it's too late. We already rolled.
So Prometheus has rebanned a certain word because he's a douche canoe.
Attaboy. Oh man, those initiatives are cheeks.
Yeah.
So the one that's in the middle, in that, does that just look like poo sludge, or like, what is that in?
It is definitely a ill-desirable slurry. However, this thing is floating on it.
Oh,
Kind of like if you put out, yeah.
Deep it is.
Correct.
I ain't going in there.
Balls.
All right, so the first in initiative is Quailith.
Oh, I got him.
Got him.
Good work, Prometheus.
Decorum.
You get to be rewarded for your perfection.
Quailith, it is your turn.
I am going to cast Hunter's Mark on that one that's there.
Okay.
And then shoot my longbow at it a couple times.
Okay.
So that is a 23 with the first shot and a 19 with the second.
Those will both hit.
Alright. So the first shot will be 14 total.
14 damage.
Correct. Non-magical piercing damage.
Okay.
And the second shot 9.
Okay.
Did my non-magical arrows appear to do the damage I was expecting them to do?
Give me a perception check.
Can't tell. Dark, it's covered in poo, it's miserable, smells weird.
It's not covered in poo. It seems to be. It seems to have some level of It seems to be hydrophobic.
Okay. And then I will move. Oh. These squares are off center, but I think I can get to about there probably. Probably further than that, but I just want to move out of the way of the party.
All right. Anything else, or is that it?
That'll be it.
Okay. Next, it will be Sylvia.
All right. I'm gonna shoot something. I'm gonna commit.
Are you shooting to the north or the south?
Well, I actually don't have line of sight on the south.
Okay.
I think I'm still like kind of walled off a little bit. Like there's a little wall here or something. So I'm going to shoot to the north with my boom boom. Where's my boom boom? Where is it? Where is it? Firebolt! Oh, Jesus Christ! That's an 8.
That will hit.
Oh yeah, I forgot, 'cause slimes suck.
Just out of curiosity, DM, does shooting fire around all this methane gas do anything?
Make everything explode! It's like a
No.
chore.
The old me would have said yes, but I have grown as a person in the DM, and so no.
Okay.
I'm not gonna destroy you like that.
Oh, Respa!
I'm gonna do a 30.
Alright, that is 9 points of fire damage.
Okay. That's good.
And that is all I got.
Okay.
Maybe I'll maybe I'll wheel out of the way so that Spray has a line of fire.
I was gonna say, please make room for me.
There we go. There you go, Bob.
Oh shit! Hold
I
on.
don't want to lightning bolt everyone.
Yeah, please don't.
Why do you think I moved way over there? I don't want to be between you and anything.
Okay, so unfortunately we have lost Calder for tonight. Ian, would you mind running him for me?
Yeah. Yeah, let me just give me access to him. I
Much
could probably
obliged.
dedicate another like half hour, 40 minutes before I myself have to be lost. So if you give me access to a sheet, I'll roll that word that I can't say that I forgot about.
Okay, much appreciated, sir.
Got you.
Rover's going back to the Feywild.
Roll his initiative as well, because we have to fix that.
Yes.
But just everyone remember, it's about to be Bjarka's turn.
Alder. Rolling the word. Oh, that's a 19.
He's actually right where he...
Actually, just
He
about
would have
where
already
he's supposed
gone.
to be.
Yeah. So go ahead and act as Calder now, because he would have.
Jesus. Oh, let's see. What the... Ooh.
I think he's got a glaive.
He does have
He
a
does.
glaive. That's what, 10 feet?
Yep.
Well, he can't get to the poop. He could, however... which should I face it? I guess he could... Oh, I know what he'll do. So I guess Calder will push up to here, trying not to step on the thing as he goes. He's gonna hold an attack action. If any of the slimes get within 10 feet, he will attack with his glaive.
Okay, so you're gonna hold your action. Okay.
Hold an action to attack.
Okay. All right. So Bjarka, it is now your turn.
quite literally the same thing that I was going to do. So, hold action, hold an attack. And I have my lance, so...
Oh, God, Prometheus is right. Screw you. Anyway,
so I have my lance as well, so 10 feet as well.
Okay. So technically, wait a minute, Fun. Technically, he's already within 10 feet.
Oh, is he within 10 feet of me?
Well, hold on. If I'm measuring this correctly,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, it's just
he
within
is.
10 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, yeah, so I'll go ahead and reach out and give it an old poke.
Reach out and touch grace.
23.
23.
To hit.
That will definitely hit.
For 3 fire damage and 4 piercing. Is that right? Yes.
It says
piercing.
7.
Well, 3 and 4. 3 fire, 4 piercing.
No, it says 7 piercing, 3 fire for 10.
Oh, weird. On my screen, on my screen, it showed me different. So because I'm rolling
weird.
on roll 20. I will go ahead and make a second attack then.
Okay.
16.
All right, so the first attack did how much damage?
10. 3 fire, 7 piercing. Second attack was a 16 to hit.
That'll
He
hit.
earlier, so.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Sorry, I did not remember. For a lot.
How much?
17 total damage.
Oof. Okay.
Oh, man.
And I will utilize a class feature for Unwavering Mark. Till the end of my next turn, while the creature is within 5 feet of me, a marked creature has disadvantage on any attack roll that doesn't target me. If they deal damage to anyone else, I can make a special attack and add bonus damage to it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, is that the end of your turn?
Yes, correct.
All right. So, it is actually that ooze's turn.
Oh, sure, go after the person that shot it for the least.
Oh god, it just encapsulated your whole body.
Okay, I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw, my good man.
Oh.
How much was it?
Oh, I rolled a 9.
Oh. Okay. So you are engulfed,
Damn right I am.
and you're going to take 22 damage.
That's a lot.
Okay, we gotta go hard in the paint.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Prometheus is forcing a reroll. Prometheus, I didn't actually roll anything, but considering you just used 5,000 points, I'll let him re-roll his save.
Hell yeah, prom. Nice. Ooh.
A lot higher than that.
25.
25 is a lot better. So, what you do is you get pushed 5 feet back from where he was going. All right? So don't take that damage. The shark is gonna swim over and bite you through the membrane, however.
It is. Of course it is.
So that is a 2 natural 20s? Well, 23 to hit, actually.
That's a
Does
lot.
that?
Oh, a 23. Yes. I do not have the spell shield, so I cannot stop that.
Okay. So you're going to take 15 piercing damage.
That's better than 22.
All right. And next it'll be Spray's turn.
Okay, well, after hearing a bunch of screaming and a fucking shark roaring in the other room, Spray is going to step through and try to see what the fuck is going on. And I see nothing. And I cannot get through that.
You can move through friendlies. And you're a little cutie, so you can totally run underneath his
I
leg.
think Spray is approaching a small creature, so we're going to try to scooch up here.
I love that you use the word scooch.
Okay, let's see. Oh, fuck. Okay, we got one of those, and I see one in the back, and Spray is going to scream, "Oh shit, there's one behind us! Fuck!" And I want to throw a lightning bolt at it. Because there's one behind us, and that's not cool.
Knock that jello.
Hopefully. Okay, so it needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
I don't know. These things are pretty dang agile.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they have an 8 AC.
Could still roll, though.
It could.
Okay.
I really want to know how low. What's the negative modifier in this thing's dex?
It's tempting.
Yeah. So
It's really. I'm curious.
all right. So let me make that save. Yeah.
Whew, alright, so that's 28 lightning damage.
It's how much lightning damage?
28.
And that's the one in the front or in the back?
That's the one in the back.
Okay.
I also like the visual effect of it still being pretty dark down here, except for Respa's light, and then it just gets super fucking bright from a lightning bolt.
I recognize that color.
Oh.
For the record, I did pop 2 auras up off of Raspa's token. One at 20 feet, and one at 40 for bright and dim light. So
Ooh,
that's what those
that
2
was.
things are. Yep.
Awesome.
Alright, and then I would like to use my bonus action to summon the tentacle over by our good friend Quellet. And within range of the shark in the front.
Okay. Go ahead and so you're gonna move up and so you're doing another attack?
No, the tentacle. It summons in a 60-foot radius.
Right, Tentacle Charlie. And you're putting that in front of you?
No, I want to put it over by Quellet and the shark over there. I want it to burst out of the sewage.
Oh, gross.
So like right here? Oh, that's too big.
Perfect.
I don't like that.
Holy
maybe
nightmare, Joe.
A little closer to Quellet, that way I can help.
Right there?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
And when it appears, it gets to make an attack. So we will 23 to hit. That ought to do it. So that is 5 cold damage, and its movement speed is reduced by 10 feet.
5 cold, and his movement is reduced by 10 feet. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Nice one.
All right, and Respa, it is your turn.
Okay.
Ooh, don't forget to hydrate.
Yeah, jeez.
So, is this technically a 5 or a 10-foot gap between the two?
I would say it's a 10-foot gap.
10 foot? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as I take a running jump, I should be able to get that without needing to roll.
Correct.
Perfect. We're going to do that, because I don't want to be trapped on this side, and so we're going to back up a little bit and then do a little run and jump skip over to here.
Okay.
So that I can get clean old line of sight on L, big shark that everyone seems to be attacking a little bit here. And we're going to go ahead and pop off a firebolt.
Okay.
6 fire damage off of a 24 to hit.
That will hit. I'm not sure if you have line of sight yet, though.
On the big one?
On the one in the south, or oh, you're going to the north. Okay, I was confused.
Yeah, sorry. No worries. Yeah,
Okay.
I was jumping across here to get line of sight on the one to the north since I saw it veer off.
Right. Okay.
After Quaylet.
Okay. Understood.
And then...
And you said how much damage?
6 fire.
Okay. Is there anything else we can do with your turn?
Quaylet, how you I heard you got hit. Are you looking
Everybody hydrate.
ready?
I'm a third down, above
You're fine
half.
for now.
Fine for now. I've got my own healing, so don't concern too much.
Okay. We're just gonna go ahead and then just call that turn. We'll be good there.
Okay. All right, and it's the second giant ooze's turn. Controlling you is hard.
Oh, I forgot to make a concentration check, so I'm going to do that right now.
The 100 mark.
That's just technically a con save, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Respa, I need you to make me a dexterity save, sir.
Sounds good. 15.
Nice.
Sorry, Calder's held action goes off.
Yes, it does. So before we address what happens to Respa, go ahead and take your action.
Yeah, so Calder's just gonna smack it with a glaive with his held attack. That's a 12 to hit.
12 definitely hits, so how much damage are we talking?
That's 9 slashing and 1 fire, and I'm gonna use the slasher feat. 1 per turn. When I hit a creature with an attack that deals slashing damage, I reduce the speed of that target by 10 feet until the start of its next turn. So its
Nice.
speed slows down by 10.
Okay.
Very nice.
All right, and Respa, you are enveloped.
So if I failed, I can use Favored by the Gods.
Okay. And what does
So I
that do
get to
for you?
roll 2d4 and add that to the total.
Okay. That.
With an extra 4, now I'm at 19.
All right, so you're going to get pushed back 5 feet into the sewage,
Boy.
but at least you're not. At least you didn't get hurt.
Yep. Guess we're finding out how deep the sewage is.
Okay. Before it ends its turn, it is going to reach out, like the ooze part of it is going to reach out and slap the dog shit out of Spray.
Oh, shit.
Reach out, touch, spray.
Does it hit with a 12?
With a 12? No. Spray is
Okay, I was about to say.
You
Yeah,
go
so
away.
that's going to miss. So you're able to weasel your way out of getting hit by this ooze.
Classic.
And Quaileth, we are back at the top of the order.
now that I am in melee combat, I'm going to toss my longbow to the ground behind me, somewhere safe, and pull out my rapier.
Okay.
And stab at it a couple times. That's an 11, which we've established should hit.
Yes, it does.
That is 13 piercing and 1 fire.
Okay, and that's the one on the one right in front of you, right?
Yeah. And then the second attack is a 17 to hit. 12 piercing and 1 fire. That D4 doing its work.
Okay. All right. Anything else with your turn, my friend?
I think I don't want to be next to this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to Misty Step myself.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, I dropped my longbow. Never mind, I will stand there.
Okay.
I'd be over there with no weapon.
Okay. All right. All right, so Calder will be next.
Alright, Calder is going to attack once and then twice. He has some other fun thing, but his character sheet isn't filled out all the way. What's that? There's like
Fire
that
shackle.
rune. Yeah, what's that damn fire shackle? Let me pull that up on D&D Beyond. Rune Knight.
That is.
The Rune Knight.
I think it's a strength save, and I think it's 2d6 fire, if I remember right, if it fails.
Yeah. The fire rune. Attack weapon. You can revoke the runes to summon fiery shackles. But it's all. He's got to wait a short or long rest to do it again, so I don't know if they want to blow it. He might need that later. So I'm just gonna.
Pretty good spontaneous stuff.
It is, but I also don't want to make that call when Dice Dome isn't here because he might want to do that later. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just keep it as is. 6 slashing and 1 fire, 8 slashing and 4 fire, for a total of 14 slashing and 5 fire, and I'll reduce its speed by 10 again. Yeah, I guess he'll stay. No, he'll move back 1 and advise Spray to move.
And that was the one on the south, correct?
That was the south one, yes.
Okay. Okay. Anything else with Calder?
That's it.
All right, and we go to a totally different person, Sylvia.
All right, Sylvia. What is she gonna do? What can she do is a better question. What's the range on this again? Give me 1 second. That is 10-foot radius sphere. Might be a little overkill if I do it. Oh yeah, I'll shatter poor Spray. Never mind. 5, 10. Sylvia is... No, she can't do that because she'll push it at them. Sylvia's just, fuck it. She is going to cast Scorching Ray and just kind of fire off at this guy. Jesus, I'm rolling like butt cheeks. Thankfully, it's enough to hit. 1 second. I shouldn't have all those extra dice. This should just be the 1 extra dice. I think that's how this thing works, right? Let me just double check one thing. At the very least, it's going to be 12, 21, 22, 23. At the very least, it'll be 24 fire damage. I just want to make sure I understand this correctly.
Okay. And this is on the one on the south, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So just make sure you got everything good, and then we'll get the final damage.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if I get... where
is it? Arcane Firearm. I'm not used to running a character where I have so many options for everything. I was just kind of working Arcane Firearm. We can't gain bonus. So one of the spells damage roll. Okay, cool. So yeah, so it's just that number I gave you before, the 24.
Okay.
24 points of fire damage. And Sylvia is good right there.
Okay. Bianca, it's your turn.
Duh. So I'm gonna step within, let's just double check my range here. Perfect. So now, would you consider that to be flanking position then with, Quaylith on the monster top left?
Where you are now?
Yeah, I have reach with my weapon.
Right. Wait a minute. There's no. Do we pit fifth? Do we pit flanking in fifth?
We've been using flanking in all of our previous sessions, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, it's been a while since we did the flanking thing.
No worries. 24 to hit for 14.
14 damage?
Yep. One of it being fire. Second attack. A 10. Oh, thank you. Okay, a 10. So that still does it. For another 14.
Okay.
How's this thing looking?
It's definitely blue. I mean, it's
like kind of. Is it kind of like part of its form kind of oozing a little bit?
You know when a little kid gets one of those bouncy balls and you say, don't rip it apart, and they rip it apart, and then there's like, yeah, it looks like that.
With a bleeding shark inside it.
The shark is fine.
Oh God. Yeah, you know what? I'll just to try and move it along a bit. I will action surge here since I do have an advantageous attacking position on it.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead and dump some extra attacks into it.
Alrighty.
18 hits. For another 14 damage.
Okay.
And I have one more attack. Come on, give me the fat one. Damn it. 19 to hit. For 11 damage. So a total of 28 and 25, 53 damage total.
Well, sir, describe your kill.
Nice.
So Biarca, seeing Quaylith, this giant ooze trying to slurp him up, I run over and I just start thrusting into the ooze, and just you see flames just licking off the sides of the lance as I keep jabbing on the inside of it. And it eventually, when I stab it in that last time with my lance, it, heats up, and it kind of just, and, pops, and, the shark just kind of flops onto the ground, and, as it explodes.
Yeah, so as you're thrusting into it, the moment it dies, that bubble turns to water, and the water flows with the shark into the sewage. The shark, like you said, flaps around in the sewage, and it literally dissolves.
Ah, guess we can't canonize shit sharks.
Right.
So then I will. Let me see. So I used 5, so 10, 15, 20, 25. I'm gonna just put myself in the range of, actually, 30. I'll put myself in the range of the ooze there to see if I can distract it from our squishy boys.
Okay.
And I'll end my turn.
Okay. Next is Bjarka's turn. So we are gonna, Bjarka, we're gonna roll a D100 to see if it goes after you, or actually,
Isn't that the dead shark?
Yeah,
The 11's the dead boy.
oh right. Okay, never mind. I'll get him out of here so I won't get confused. Spray, it's your turn.
Thank you for the cover, brother.
Yeah, I kind of used your head to vault over you.
Spray is going to slide down the stairs and place his hand on the jelly and try to suck the moisture out of it with to inflict wounds.
Okay.
Disgusting. I love it.
We're gonna fucking dehydrate this bitch.
I'm just glad there's somebody in the party that's grosser than I am.
Alright, so a 21's a hit and 20 necrotic damage.
20 necrotic damage. Okay, one moment. I have to check something for that. That's a nice.
That's a number.
That's a number.
We love inflict wounds on warlocks. I took the Shadow Touch feat, which gives me 1 free cast of it a day. But being a warlock, I can only cast it at high level. So.
Oh darn.
Pretty nice.
Okay,
Oh, no.
so that is a round number, sir. Anything else?
And then Spray is going to scamper inside because he realizes it's too big to fit through that doorway.
You are going to invoke an attack of opportunity.
That is alright.
Okay. So you're going to get bit by a sharky shark.
Nom nom.
You, sir, have been lucky. So yeah, that's a 10, and that's going to miss.
Spray will
So,
slide his
as you're
little-
sliding into the door, like a great white shark comes right over you and barely misses your head.
One could say that if he was 6 inches taller, he might have been hit.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Respa, it is your turn, sir.
Okay. Respa's gonna clamber back up onto more solid footing. And we're actually gonna mimic a little what Sylvie did, and we're gonna pop off a scorching ray.
Ooh.
How we
So let's get 3 little rays shooting out here. 21, 11, and 13 to hit for a total of 14 fire damage.
Okay. That will hit. 14 fire damage.
And
Nope. Hold on. I did that wrong. Okay, go ahead.
I'm then going to use my bonus action to do flexible casting and convert a level 1 spell into 2 sorcery points.
How flexible.
And that'll be my turn.
All right, sir. All right, so now it'll be the giant shark's turn. And he is going to attempt to envelop Bjarka. So Bjarka, I need a dexterity saving throw, please.
Yep. Just an 11.
Oh,
All right, so you are going to be engulfed, sir. So you are going to take 22 piercing damage. As you become engulfed, that shark starts to try to tear you a new asshole. Currently, you cannot breathe. You're restrained.
Can I use my reaction to take a deep breath as I'm getting engulfed?
Let Let me roll my benevolency die.
Benevolency die?
No.
Love that. Alright, so... Alright, can't breathe. 22 damage, got it.
Okay. So he is going to be here. He's also going to try to bitch slap Spray again.
Oh shit, I'm still in reach? Oh,
Yes.
It moved closer.
God. It's amorphous.
Yeah, so it hits with a 20, so you're going to take 21 bludgeoning damage as this thing literally just slams you into the ground like a railroad pike.
Spray is going to freak out and use my Eldritch Invocation, Tomb of Ovestius, and encase himself in ice, so that shark is getting nothing but a cold shoulder.
Come.
So the ice is going to take 22 damage. How much damage can the ice take?
Lots. I believe
It's like, what is it, like 50 base or something crazy?
it's pretty
It's
hot.
chunky.
Okay.
There it is, Tomb of Ovestius. 10 per warlock level, so it has 60 hit points.
God damn. So the shark is going to try to chew on some ice like a weirdo.
Does it wince like biting on ice cream?
Brain freeze.
Yes, it does. But you are gonna the ice is gonna take an additional 21 piercing damage. Yeah, that was a good job, dude. Quailith, it's your turn. Top of the order, everyone.
Okay, I'm going to look at the no longer alive blob thing in front of me, look at the rapier in my hand and my longbow on the ground, and the other thing way over there now. Drop my rapier, pick the longbow up. As a bonus action, I'm moving Hunter's Mark over to this one.
Okay.
And
I will notate it on the game table.
D&D Beyond, the right tab. Now let's do both of those. 19 and or 14 and a 26 for my hits. First hit will be 14 damage.
Okay.
And the second one, 14 damage. Very different numbers.
Okay.
And I like where I'm standing. I can see it. It can't get to me. Feeling comfortable.
Okay. All right. Calder is up.
Calder is just gonna rinse and repeat. Glaive and glaive. For some beefy fucking damage, Jesus.
Nice.
That's a total of 24 slashing and 6 fire.
Oh, wow. Describe your kill and the way you saved the Arca.
Calder is gonna be like, "I'm coming, brother," and just he's just gonna like start like slicing it off like it's like a slice and scoop of like just cutting off jelly, and then as the as like he sees like Bjarka, he's gonna like quick like spin around to the one side of the glaive, and, like throw it out so like he can grab it, and pull him out as the ooze kind of melts away.
Very awesome.
That is awesome.
Fuck yes.
So we are out of combat. Very well done, guys. I'm glad that I know that was a tough one. There's a lot of damage being.
These things hit real hard. I only got hit once and I was still worried.
Right?
Yeah. So each of you are going to get 1,300 experience.
Okay. 1900. Baby.
And yes, so Bjarka, you come splashing out, coughing up salt water.
Salt.
think we're on the right track. Salt water.
Can I like punch the shark as it's dissolving?
If you'd like, yes.
Thank you. Just for flavor.
So the shark dissolves into goo also?
The shark dissolves in the, like, it's like magical dissolving, not like nasty dissolving. It's like dissolving into nothing.
So it's magical, so it was like magically conjured?
Yes.
I don't know if that's more creepy or less creepy than a shark that just lives inside of a spherical acid blob.
Sylvia's reaction to that was the best.
Yeah. It was so good.
All right, so very well done, guys. We're gonna cut it off there. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll be back not next week, but the week after to continue this foray into the sewer to hopefully save some children. I truly appreciate everyone watching. Truly, again, thank you again to BattleBox for letting us use their music. Again, if you look down, there's a 20% discount. If you want to utilize that, it directly helps you with the discount and directly helps the stream, so we truly appreciate it. But thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it, and we will see you next time.